Hey again, everybody. I just went through yesterday's workout for you. I just kind of went through the whole circuit. And as I mentioned, I'm going to just post another quick video. I wanted to go into some of the exercises a little bit more in depth, just so you have a really good understanding of what all the moves should look like. I'm just going to give a little better explanation in case there's any questions, and then shoot me a message if there's anything after that. We started with dead man burpees, feet straddling your mat or your towel. As you go down, it's just like a regular burpee, but the main difference is that you're going down here and lowering yourself, and the reason you're throwing your hands out is to make sure that you are complete dead weight at this point. This way you're like completely at the ground, so that when you bring your hands back in, you're pushing your full body weight back up. You know, so it's not like you're cheating yourself and stopping here and already pushing up. You want to go all the way down, throw your hands out, bring it back in, jump your feet in, and jump up. All right? You're just throwing your hands out, and you're going to be complete dead weight before you jump back up. That's a dead man burpee. The med ball sit-ups. I think a lot of these are kind of self-explanatory, plus, you know, you probably just watched the video I posted, but just going in a little more depth. Med ball sit-ups. Feet straight out, heels on the ground. You're not lifting your feet up or anything like that. Your heels are on the ground, and you're starting with the med ball above your head, so you're completely straight. You're bringing it up, and as you're bringing it up, your knees are coming in. You're getting ready to throw your momentum forward. These can be really hard depending on where your center of gravity is. Luckily, if anything, I'm more bottom heavy. So I think these actually tend to be a little more difficult for guys because they carry their weight in their shoulders more. So for guys, it helps actually if you get a heavier med ball, because you can use that as counterweight to pull yourself up once you get to this point. If your med ball's too light, it can be hard to pull yourself up. You're going to want to use the momentum of the ball throwing it forward to bring you up on your feet. So that's just a little tip. But anyway, over your head, throwing the weight of the ball forward, bringing your feet in, and you're in basically a frog position. And then you're jumping. So when you jump, try to extend the ball straight up. I just have a ceiling fan right above me, and so I kind of have to stop the ball right here so that I don't hit it. But whenever you come up, you want to jump straight up, go back into the frog squat, lower yourself back on your butt, throw your feet and your arms back straight, and that's one. All right? Like that. That is a med ball sit up with a jump. In and out back lunges. The main mistake I see people making with these is they're coming out of squat position whenever they're doing their in-out jump. So you want to make sure that when you're down here, keep your legs as parallel to the ground the entire time as possible. So when you're doing this, you see how my legs, I'm not coming up, I'm not doing this, all right? You might start doing that towards the end because it gets really tiring, but as much as you can, try to stay parallel to the ground. And so really, you know, there's no bounce. Your feet are doing the work in and out. So it goes in and out. Pick this up. It goes on the shoulder of the leg that's staying forward. Okay? Step back out, put it down. In, out, pick this up, shoulder of the leg that stays forward. All right? I'll show you from the side. Just trying to stay in that squat position as much as possible. All right, step back. That is an in, out, back lunge. Med ball jester jumps. I've done jester jumps before without a med ball, and since I was doing a med ball death workout, I decided to throw a med ball in there because it's less fun if you're not jumping with weight above your head, right? So, all right, jester jumps. Basically in dive bomber position or monkey push-up position or something. You're in a pike with your high knee up in the air. You want a little bend to your knees, not too much. Basically you're in a V position. And with the jester jump, you're really going to start to feel it in the front of your quads because you're not going like this and jumping. You're really pushing, just propelling with your calves and the front of your quads to get your butt up. You'll notice, like, my legs aren't bending too much, right? I'm not doing this. So you're propelling yourself that way. So with the med ball, you're just propelling up. I roll this thing because it's never where I want it to be by the time it's time to jump. Bring it up above your head and jump. Okay? Put it back down. Kick your feet back out. Another gesture jump. So you'll notice, like, I tend to reset my feet every time. It takes a little wiggling around to get your feet comfortable where you want them to be. But try to be as continuous as you can with the exercise. Okay, so I just jump out and go straight back into it. That's a gesture jump in the med ball. Tuck jumps, we've done this before. Cannonballs, jumping and bringing your knees to your chest, okay? With or without the med ball, just depends on what you're comfortable with. Med ball push-ups, I think I went through those in pretty good detail in the last video. Essentially, you're just, you're doing a push-up with one hand on the med ball. All right, I keep my feet shoulder width apart just to stabilize myself when I'm rolling around on this sucker. Be careful. Don't roll off of it and, like, sprain your wrist or something or hurt your shoulder, you know. Make sure you're comfortable. And you can do this with a bigger Dynamax ball. You can do it with one of those harder med balls that rolls a little bit easier. They're kind of bouncy. Just make sure that you're really tightening your core to stabilize yourself because you don't want to get injured. Okay? So you're just going down just like it's a normal push-up. Rolling it, stepping with this hand, putting this hand on the med ball, going into another push-up. Okay? That is med ball push-ups. Med ball plie squat jumps. This is going to be redundant because this is now the third time I've talked about these. Basically, feet a little wider than shoulder width, 1.5 times shoulder width probably. You've got the med ball, going into a squat, touching it to the ground, curling it up and jumping. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Do what you can to not bend too much like this. You don't want to hurt your back and bend like this. You really want to work your quads and your butt by getting the ball to the ground using your legs, not your back. Do your very best not to bend like this, okay? It might not hurt so bad with a little bit of weight, but you never know, you could throw your back out doing just about anything, and as you start getting better at these and adding weight, it's going to be really dangerous. So do what you can to really bend at the knees and feel it in your quads and your glutes, all right? Lumberjacks, that is, I'm going to show you without the med ball. Okay, so you're holding the weight up here, and what you're doing is act like you've got like a long, heavy rope or something like kind of flimsy and long in one hand that you have to sling over your head. I call them lumberjacks because it's like slinging a big, well, I've never chopped wood, who am I kidding, but like swinging a big axe over your head, okay? So you're taking this weight and you're really rotating, so leading with this elbow, rotating over your head and following through like this into a crunch, okay? So lead with the top elbow with the weight, rotate. As you're rotating, your body's twisting, okay? Constantly twisting, and you're gonna end in a curl like that. As you do that, you're going to want to bring the weight down to your toe. And just like in the last exercise, in order to not hurt your back, we're not just bending at the waist to touch our toe. That's why I've added this side lunge in here, because, well, not only does that work this back glute and hamstring and this front quad, but it keeps you from injuring your back. So, looks like this. Leading with the top elbow, over, rotating around, crunching down, and going into this side lunge, all right? Then you lead with this elbow again, and see how I pivoted on my feet? touch this toe. All right? Do what you can to really bend with your legs, not with your back. We don't want any injuries. That's lumberjacks, dive bombers. I really don't want to do these again. They're so hard. Same position as gesture jumps. Butt up in the air, legs straight, arms straight. You're in an upside down V. Okay? And you're just going to draw that line all the way down the center of your body. Forehead, nose, chin, throat, chest, to your belly button. You really want to visualize getting that line drawn all the way down. So it takes some flexibility because your back is going to be arching the entire way. But it's really, really, whenever you get good at it, it's going to not only be a really good back and shoulders and triceps workout, but with that flexibility, it's going to end up being a really good core, like abs workout. And then remember, I said a lot of people do dive bombers like this, and then they reset just by picking their butt back up. If you start to get tired, or if you're a beginner, go ahead and do that, because these get hard. But if you've done these before, or you want to try the first few with the reverse, I really recommend it, because it's amazing how much work it can do for you and your back. So you're going to draw that line forward, and then you're going to draw that line backwards. So down, and you can pause here for a second if you need to. I don't recommend pausing too long, because then you really don't want to do the reverse. And then you're going to go back the other way. All right? So down and back. All right? Those are dive bombers. They hurt. This whole thing hurts. It's med ball death workout. Death by med ball. That's what we'll call it. Anyway, but if you have any questions, shoot me a message. I'm happy to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Bye.